Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much guys for all the subscribes, all the likes and all the nice comments as well on the videos. Much appreciated. So we're back with some lineups and some strategy for the next game week, which is game week 381. What I'm going to do before we go through this is I'm just going to talk you through a couple of things that I use or do to help me select lineups, which is always really useful. Obviously, just seeing the lineups themselves is not just as helpful. So we're on the page here. We're going to go through all the limited ones first, and hopefully that will be the most relevant to people if they're playing limited, and we'll have a quick look at the other ones as well. First things first, if you're not using SORARE data, obviously I'm a subscriber to the biggest sort of the highest plan here. I'm not an affiliate of SORARE data, so I'm not looking to try and push you onto SORARE data, but use as many features as you're able to use on there. Disclaimer, I don't know if all the features are available to everyone because I've always just used the highest plan, which obviously suits me because of my gallery. First thing I always use there on is the football lineup builder. So after you've signed in, obviously you've got this section here where you're able to see the different cap tournaments, all-star, etc. I find this really useful, for example, for the actual cap tournaments, etc. So if you look on here, you can go in, click on suggest a lineup, and it'll go through and it'll take all the information out in connection with the games, the game strengths, how people usually play, the recent averages, etc., and it will suggest a lineup for you. With this, it's always a good thing to have a look at. Obviously, if you're playing the caps or you're playing the other tournaments, if you suggest an hour lineup, then you'll have similarity in terms of players. But you'll see here, obviously, it's taken out one of the players and it's put in Saka against Malta as well. So I won't go into that in too much depth, but if you have that available to you, that's a good thing to use. Another really good tool is PlaySharper. Again, this is a completely free service, and it's excellent. So if you click on the lineup predictions section, get yourself onto game week 381, and then international games, you'll see, if you go through the tabs, you'll have different lineups here. So for example, I don't have any specific knowledge of any of the international games, but there's experts on here. So shout out to Garji, Sorare Israel, and then once you come down, you'll see you've got the selection and also the percentage, so how confident people are in connection with the selection. So this one's an interesting one. Obviously, we've got Oscar Glock in here as well at 90%. That's a surprise to me because I think he's playing with under 21s, but that's interesting. So he might be playing and then going to the under 21s afterwards. Abada's 90%. Celtic, I think, said he can't play in under 21s. I don't know why that is. Maybe due to wanting him to get a break. Manor solving 95%. So I've just highlighted the players I own myself because that's going to be relevant to what we're doing. So into selecting some lineups. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do my under 23s lineup. Everybody will have different priorities here. If obviously you have a smaller gallery, you probably want to be targeting the caps, so 220, 240, etc. The value in targeting the caps is if you put a cap 240 team in, you can get $5 for just hitting 250 points, but also you don't have to play against teams of Messi or international weeks teams of Harry Kane, Saka, Lewandowski, etc. So one piece of strategy advice is if you've got a team and the last 15 average is 240, you probably don't want it in cap 270 or even in All-Star. It's more suitable for 240 because those are the averages. So if you want to take a chance at maybe going in 270 and having a chance at winning maybe a rare card that's a higher standard than you would win in 240, then fair dues. But yeah, always try and make your gallery suit or your selections suit what you've got. So into the actual team selections. So first thing from a strategy point of view to point out here is we do have some teams who have two games. So at the World Cup, SORARE adapted the game weeks, but because we have other ongoing stuff just now, they haven't done that. So Trubin, for example, is a really good option here because Ukraine have 2 games, and then you have other goalkeepers as well. I've got Kelleher. I don't have Bazunu as a limited. So in terms of the Ireland side of things, I think Bazunu is probably number 1. So Trubin probably picks himself here. In terms of defender selections, Trent's shown up here. He's shown us no game just now, but that's because the game's not pulled through. I'm not sure whether he'll actually play for England or not. That's probably a bit up in the air. So having a flick through, obviously not a huge selection, even with a big gallery. Porteous against Haaland could be interesting. I think we'll avoid that. So initial impressions, I think I'll go with Jack Maher. Been really good this season. I think Veerman's away as well. Veerman, dearie me. Zimmerman's away with the international team, so I'm pretty sure he'll play. Midfield selection is going to be an interesting one because I think France have got some good games. Camavinga's there and Theo Hernandez is out, so Camavinga's probably going to play left back. So that's a really interesting one. Odegaard against Scotland. Nah, we're not playing guys against Scotland in this. Bugger it. I think I'm going to go with Koksu. Turkey have got 2 games, so that's a significant advantage. Usually plays for Turkey, and I think they've got some nice fixtures here. If you hover over that, seeing the 2 games, it shows you both fixtures. And remember, the rules change now, so you get the best of both scores as well. Into the forward position, so we're having a look there and we see that Abada's pretty certain to start. So I think with the games that Israel have, they have Belarus and Andorra. I'm going to go with Lyle Abada. Obviously not the highest averages on 45 here, but 2 games, 2 weak fixtures, I think, or weak opponents. Then we've got the last position. Now, with those fixtures, that sort of triggered something in my head to say, they're pretty good fixtures. Andorra, that's screaming out at me. So what people will be thinking at this point is you get Saka and Macedonia, etc. So you've got Malta and Macedonia. Yeah, they're good fixtures as well. So I think I'm probably going to be in my head here between Manor Solomon and Saka. Manor Solomon obviously would be a good pair up with Abada. I'm pretty sure, yeah, should have. Yeah, so we've got a 9.5% Manor Solomon. Again, Saka, we've got a 12.5%. That's because we've got a good few Arsenal cards and because still carrying the current season bonus. So yeah, I think that's our team sorted out. In terms of captain, so that's an interesting one. Having a look at these England games, I think I'm going to be tempted to go with Saka. Now let's see what PlaySharper are saying here. So back to lineup predictions, international, European Championship qualifiers, and see if we've got a predicted England. Let's go. Saka 80%. So I think that's a really good selection here. 2 week fixtures. Even if he doesn't play both games, you've got 2 chances, and I think that's really good from a strategy point of view. Let's captain him. We're captaining an Englishman. Oh no! That's the end of the channel. I'll need to take Scottish out of the title here. I'm going to have to support England. Away to bloke. Confirmed. And that's our first lineup selected here. I think given the length of the video here, I don't want to have these videos going on for 50 minutes or whatever. People will probably get fed up listening to me, but hopefully you'll be able to pick up some strategy advice and some strategy tips, or even some hints in terms of these different tools to use to help you pick your lineups, particularly if you're stuck. But I think what we'll do is we'll go for a cap 240 here. It's a good topical one. People really like playing this tournament because you can get $5 just for hitting 250, which is really good. Now, something again that stands out for me here is I've used one of my Trubins in the under 23s. So a lucky position to have another Trubin. With him having 2 games, I think that's a really big plus for the caps, right? So not only does he have an average of 47, so he's only costing you 47 to enter, so he's quite suitable for the cap, but he's got 2 games, 2 chances of clean sheet, or a big score against North Macedonia and Malta. So let's go Trubin. Defender-wise, now you'll see we've got average open per position is 48. So that means that if we're going to want to get one of these guys in for a 65 or whatever, we're going to have to pick somebody who's got a really, really, really low average. So with my first draft, I'll usually scroll down and pick somebody who's more suitable for the caps here. Okay. Now who've we got? Now there's a good one there. We'll get Kieran Tierney. Now the only thing with Scotland is we're playing against Norway away, and also there's only one game covered for Scotland. So here I think I'll go Eli Daza. We were saying earlier, suit your teams to the fixtures, right? So there's always a tendency just to say, right, let's get Ruben Diaz in and let's get Trent in or whatever. But I think here we probably want to leave ourselves some juice in the cap. So we're going to go Eli Daza. See, we've got some nice options here. Connection with the higher sort of value ones. But again, we've only got 53 left as an average for the three positions. So remember, you're in the cap 240, you've got to fit under the cap or you just can't enter. So let's have a wee scroll down and see what we've got here. Arjana Demi, interesting. Now this might be a good one for Camavinga. France have got Gibraltar. And as I said earlier, Theo Hernandez is out. So Gibraltar and Greece, let's get Camavinga in. We've got 53 left here. So what I'm going to do here is with the forwards, I'm just going to scroll down and filter out. So I'm going to go around about 43 here so that we can leave a selection for maybe a sort of more reliable player, if that makes sense. So options, we've got Haksabanovic, Che Adams against Norway, that's not a bad one. Stipe Buick's an interesting one because the LA guys, Buanga and the guys are all away, right? So he should probably play. So he could be a good wee sort of enabler in connection with getting a higher value type player in. Robert showing up as Alaves, but he won't play. He's in the pretty sure he's in the under-21 Spain squad. Dion Beljo is shown as no game, but that's probably just shown up in the selection because Croatian again under-21 squad. So I think initial reaction here is I'm not sure if Haksabanovic is fit. Is there a PlaySharper for this? If not, I'm snookered. Should know this as a Celtic fan, but he picked up a wee injury at the end of the season. Yeah, we don't have a Montenegrin lineup just now, so I think for initial draft, whilst we have a look at that, we'll go for Buick. And then the advantage here is if we just scroll back, we've now got 73 points as being available for a higher value player. So this is quite handy, right? Because now we're talking about being able to get guys like Harry Kane into the caps. Now, Harry Kane's got Malta and North Macedonia. Stick on to play for England. Let's go with Harry. So yeah, there's the lineup. So Trubin's got 2 games, Daza's got 2 games, Camavinga's got 2 games, one against Gibraltar. Harry Kane's got 2 games. Buick's not a brilliant selection, but you'll see we've managed to get him in and we still have 6 points available in the cap. Now, usually what we'll do before I'll finalise the draft here is let's have a look at anybody who's in here and see if we can upgrade them. So Daza's on 34. So let's filter that to 40 and see if there's any better options that we've actually missed because we want to try and maximise the cap here. So again, Kieran Tierney, 1 game, tough game against Norway away. Red Sauce, pretty similar option to Daza. So I think that's fine. And again, there's no captain in cap 240 confirmed. So there we go, guys. Selected the cap 240. We've selected the under 23 limited. I'm trying to explain these selections so that you can get some strategy help and so that you can see how we pick the teams or what the thought process behind it is. I'm going to cut the video now. I'm not going to go through all the different selections because that's been 15 minutes and you're probably fed up listening to me at this point. Moving forward, connection with what we're going to do, I'll try and get another video up before the under 21s. I think everybody's pretty excited about that, and we'll maybe look at some guys who are good SO5 options going forward as well. When we get back to the European season, we will be able to, I think, go in more in terms of strategy. So when we've got Celtic back and all the different teams, We can decide if we're going to go for stacks